Super Mario Wonder! I think 2D Mario games are fun. I'm sure that's a really controversial statement there. Now, with that being said, I have a really hard time going back to the 8-bit ones. I really don't know why. I just don't find it as entertaining as it was back in the 80s. I loved Super Mario Bros. 3 back in the day. I would call Toys R Us every day asking if the game had been released yet. And remembering the day they actually told me yes. I told my dad and we got down there right away. And I grabbed one of those paper slips to get it. I'm sure 90% of you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Toys R Us. And the other 10% will say, oh yeah, I remember those slips. Just thinking back, it makes me think, I've gotten so old. Anyways, I still love Super Mario World, as I think it holds up great. And I bring this up only because I think this has the same tone and feel to it. I say this because there were all kinds of random exits and secrets in World, and while they are sort of in this, unfortunately it was really toned down. I love secret exits. It makes us look for different ways to experience the levels if we go into them again. For the most part, it was a pretty straightforward game. That's not to say there weren't a few secret exits and twists and turns, but they were more of a rarity in this title. I do want to say I will only be showing footage from the first two worlds. I do this to avoid spoilers. And I know that might sound odd for a 2D platformer, but there are some parts of this game that which are better experienced in the moment than seen on a video. Now, Mario and his friends have come to this new kingdom, and Bowser shows up, because of course he does, and steals their power. And he somehow turns into a castle, and we have to find more powerful seeds and get inside it, and get back the power that he took. Honestly, it's a pretty normal setup for a Mario game. I really like the new art style in this. It has a really colorful look to it. Plus, the new character animations were great. I really enjoyed the flowers that would often comment on your actions in the level. They were often very funny. This is one of my favorites, only because I assume most people won't see the punchline, because they'll be too busy running past it.
It's safe here. I didn't mean you should hang out.
The Flowers' thoughts were often just funny asides about the action that was going on in the world, but sometimes they might hint you towards something that you might have missed. You could play as Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy? I think she's a princess. Let's assume so. Toad, Toadette, Nabbit, and Yoshi. Nabbit and Yoshi were the easy mode characters, which won't take any damage. I liked how the map was often free to explore, and not in just a way where you could just look ahead, but you can actually choose any of the levels that are in that area. There might even be secrets in the map itself, with paths you might not expect. The levels were very well designed. They often had different feels to them, even if they were in a themed world. The levels would get crazy when your character would find a wonder flower, as the level would change in ways that were often strange and crazy. And their effects are always something you're going to want to see. It'll keep going unless it's on a timer, or you die, or until you find the wonder seed. Now this seems a little bit weird, and it feels like it should be the other way around. You should find the seed, and then it should shoot off and become a flower, and you need to find the flower to stop the craziness of the world. In each normal level, there were 2 or 3 seeds to find. One of the seeds is given to you when you beat the level. At the end of every level, you're going to jump on a flagpole, and somehow jumping on a flagpole changes back the house of the resident, making me wonder why the person who lived there didn't just do that in the first place. The resident of the house will give you a seed as thanks, and you have to wonder what trippy things they saw to get that wonder seed. There are a few new power-ups this time. A drill, a bubble projectile, and the most talked about, which was an elephant power-up, which will turn you into an elephant, which can hold on to water so you can use it to water the flowers, or even stun some of your enemies. It was also good to break blocks quicker. This game is harder than I expected, but it wasn't that bad. It shows you on the map what the difficulty of the level will be. 1 star to 5 stars. Now I am terrible at platformers, so even a 2-star level was a bit challenging for me, and I died more times than I really should have. They have badges in this, which when equipped, will give you abilities that you will normally not have. Like, for example, higher jumps, starting with a power-up, or just being able to float with your hat. It was great, and it helped me get past a few of these stages. There's also an online component to this, and it was really well made. It had the ghosts of other characters who were currently playing the game on the screen. Watching them, they would help you find secrets, or they just might assist you if you get into a bubble because you were going to die, and they could pop that bubble. Super Mario Wonder was delightful. You never knew what was going to happen, and that made every level worth playing. The world was colorful, and the flowers were always amusing to be around. Now this is definitely worth a buy. Having an easy mode for the kids was definitely a smart idea, since they can enjoy the bright and entertaining worlds without having to be worrying about dying all the time. If this is the future of Mario games, I'm all for it, and I think you should buy it now.